Live from the Spill Studios, located behind a liquor store off the I-35 interchange, it's time once again for a couple of cold ones with Corey and Carlisle.
This is a real couple of cold ones. I mean, we actually are having a couple of cold ones. I said I wasn't going to get anything.
Yeah, you're like,
drink.
I may not have. Hey, thanks for bringing beer, but I may not have. You know what? Give me one.
Yeah, because, man, I was hanging out with Leon last night, and I drank some, and then I realized I have a lot of shit to do tonight. I got to get up early, but fuck it. You know, this ain't the first time. It won't be the last.
You know what? Just one beer.
I know, but
It's all good.
See, that's what I always say, just one beer, and then I end up
You're
being
gonna be leaning
like,
over going, give me another one.
I end
we're
up
out.
being Mr.
Damn it.
Hyde, running through the city, acting crazy with a cape on, but
Damn right.
terrorizing the ladies of Austin. But no,
He dons a cape, puts on a utility belt, picks up a chair. It's Corey Coleman here to save you. You got this boomerang chair that you whip at
I just throw it-
criminals and
yeah.
flies back in your hand.
I just throw it through some random woman's window.
Yeah.
What is it? Shut the fuck up, bitch! And sit down on that chair I threw in here. But
It's Coleman.
the Black Wonder. But how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. I had a really chill weekend. It's pretty cool.
That's good. Look at it. Yeah, you like Sammy Davis Jr. with that. Yeah, cat. That's cool.
It's
man.
cool. It's cool, man.
It's
cool.
So I'm glad you got some things to talk about because I didn't have that much to talk about. Even though it's an interesting weekend for movies.
Really?
Yeah. I'm looking at the top 5 here that we get prepared for every week.
The top 5? You mean like the top 5 brought to you by Spill?
That one. That's the one I'm talking about.
That's
Not
right.
that top 5 brought to you by that off-brand website.
That's
but
right. Brought to you by
Spill.com.
Spill.
Packed full of flavor.
So maybe, my friend, maybe it's time for us to get into said top 5 and bring it in with number 5.
Oh, is that like spoken word?
Number 5.
Get into it, my favorite number 5.
Dum, dum,
Yeah.
dum, dum.
It's no jive.
I feel alive.
Number
I
5.
feel alive with no jive. Taking it to the number 5.
Number 5's black skin sinking in. Okay, let's now. Okay,
Wow,
number 5.
I feel like I'm in the 90s again. It's awesome.
Number 5, man. Look, he's just not that into you. What can we say?
He's just not that into you.
No, what is it brought in? Right, I thought it was gonna get into the $100 million range, but $78.1 million is what it's made so far. I'm sorry, 78.5. You got it.
78.5 million, or what we would like to call the opening weekend of Watchmen.
You think it'll go that big?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a lot of anticipation. This is what.
That's the thing, is it's all the anticipation. It's the hype built by the geeks and all the talk, and that's going to bring out everybody else who wants to find out what this whole Watchmen thing is about.
Shit, it got to the point my mother's asking me, "What's this Watchmen all
See,
about?"
that's how you know you're going to break 70 million. What you need to do is you need to call up Corey. If you work in Hollywood, you want to call up Corey and say, "What's your mom been asking you about?"
Did
lately?"
your mom ask about our movie? Yes, she did. It's like Groundhog's Day.
It's like, yeah, we're gonna break 70 million.
Yeah.
So every time your mom asks about a movie, it breaks 70 million.
Yeah, it's like Groundhog's Day, except it's Corey's Mama Day. You know, did Corey's mama ask about this movie? It's gonna be big.
Yep.
Mother bought Dark Knight. She bought the Dark Knight.
That's one of the things I try to tell people when I have certain arguments, especially about technology. I refer to Mom and Pa Walmart. And
Yeah.
I use my own parents as Ma and Pa Walmart. If you can convince my mother to buy into the technology, you have yourself the next thing.
Yes, you do. You know what?
if
I'm
you
sorry.
can't-
I want you to move that mic a little up and closer to there. There you go.
Like that?
Yeah. There you go.
Now my microphone is fully erect.
Coming in crystal clear. So anyway,
My microphone has achieved full 2 messages.
no, it's at 3/4 erection.
It's at 3/4.
The-
Well, I don't know what the fuck yours does, dude, but mine doesn't point straight fucking up.
Mine is so big, it's still hanging down a little bit. Just too much weight. I actually saw, and maybe I'm thinking about that because I was a
This
dad.
ain't too buku.
This is yeah.
This is
too
pure
buku.
Alabama black snake.
Your microphone too buku. No, man. Yeah, that microphone's pure Colorado black snake.
That's right.
Man, I was a nasty little kid. I remember reading these dirty magazines, and one of them that gave like certain porno flicks, like downward erection, half erection, 3/4 erection is like about to explode, full upwards, and I was like, that's pretty clever. And so far, every one of these pictures that I've seen has got a full exploding erection for me. So.
You know, it's and you wonder where you came up with the rental bullshit rating system.
Well, yeah, because the erection system was already taken.
The erection system was already
I'm going to bring it back one day, though. So anyway, he's just not that into you. Whatever, man.
He's just not that into you.
That movie it just won't go away. Like as you said, like herpes. It's just in the top 5. We still think it's going to be gone the next week, but it's not. So,
which brings us to the big door, the big blue door that has a number 4.
You want to take a guess at what it is?
I have no clue.
Take a guess. Just it's random. Take a guess.
Bratz, the movie.
See, now you know fucking guess right there, man. No, Taken.
Taken. Rock on. I love me some Taken. You know what? I keep getting, if I haven't messaged you guys, there's been a number of people who've been messaging me all week, and I've just been really busy. But thanking me for having talked up Taken every week, and then finally going, all right, we're going to see it. Or one of the guys in the UK rented it and said, wow, this is a fun movie. So I'm really glad people are digging on it as much as I did. It's a fun little film.
Well, I'm glad the UK guys are nice to you, because all the UK people to me were like, that movie's been here, man. I was like, fuck you, all right? Shit, I don't live over there, okay? We got.
Well, you got to understand when you're talking about the Brits, they're really happy that it was over there first, because once a year they get a movie before we do. The rest of the time they sit around for 6 months going, yeah, that Batman movie sure sounds awesome. It'd sure be nice if we got it.
I know, and be happy. I'm glad you got it. Just don't rub it in my face, because
they're like, oh, well, it's been here for 3 months. In fact, it's almost out on DVD. Cockknocker. Yeah, and it's like, oh yeah, well, fuck you for Garfield.
Yeah, exactly.
I still blame you guys for because actually the reason why there was a Garfield sequel is because the fucking Brits loved it.
You know what? Yeah, you motherfuckers are responsible for that goddamn ABBA movie, Mamma Mia, being bigger than The Dark Knight. So shut the fuck up.
Well, only in Britain.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm talking about. These Brits talking shit. At least I'm in 70-some degree weather.
Let's make fun of the Brits.
Go fucking sit
like they need it.
Go sit in the rain.
Okay,
rainy ass
happy
fucking
place. Think about what it was like to be in London in a pub getting drunk with some of these Brits.
You know what it was like? It was fucking cold. It was wet and cold.
Yeah, because it hasn't been like that here every night.
No, but in the daytime it's warm. Shit, I'm trying to get somewhere at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm walking through sludge and fucking London fog, feeling like goddamn Sherlock Holmes and shit. You know what? Shut the fuck up, y'all. I don't
think anyone will ever accuse you of being Sherlock Holmes. I don't think that's going to happen.
Not even with the hat and the pipe. You don't think so?
With the hat and the pipe, you're going to look like a child molester.
Well, with that hat and pipe. Yeah, you wear that shit over here.
Yeah.
and that coat.
Yeah, that's right.
You will barely got the door
you
before
might as well be driving around in a van that says free candy on the side. That's hello, children.
Yeah, the moment you step out the door, you're going to jail wearing that kind of shit. But anyway,
which brings us to.
Oh wait, let me tell you something.
Tell me something.
Let me move this over a little bit because I can't fucking see. It's Taken has brought in $107 million, man.
Nice.
$108 million actually. Brought in $10 million this weekend. So movie's doing well. People love to see Liam Neeson kicking ass.
That fills me with glee, taking me to the tree, which brings us to number 3.
You know what? Before we move on, I just got to say, I hope they make a sequel where Liam Neeson goes to Britain and just whoops the shit out of everybody. Anyway, okay, number 3.
Number 3.
Slumdog Millionaire.
You know what? That's fucking awesome.
115 million.
Anybody ever asked what the Oscars are about? It's every so often when they actually, truly award some really great films, and people all of a sudden go, maybe we should go see that, honey, and make a movie that's been out since the beginning of it came out here in Austin December 12th.
Yeah, no, it's been out for a while, man.
It came out December 12th. Here we are almost, 3 months later, and it takes the number 3 spot.
Yeah.
Fucking awesome.
And I have to tell you, Danny Boyle was out busting his ass promoting that movie. So, I mean, that's good for him. It paid off.
He earned every bit of it. That movie was great. That's easily the greatest movie of his career, or at least on par with Trainspotting.
And I'm very happy for him, too. I have to say, this is a guy, like we interviewed him, and Guy went out, busted his ass to promote this film, and was the most humble guy. You would bring it up to him and say, man, people are going to be giving you all kind of awards for this. And he's just like, I'm just happy that the movie's being seen. So I was like, wow, what a sweet guy. Yeah. But, it brought in, it's at $115 million right now. Brought in $12.2 million this weekend.
Awesome.
So, because it's been up for a while, man. Thanks to the Academy Awards, they really got a boost. However, now you're getting the people. Now you're getting the people who said, well, I saw it now. It ain't that big a deal. So it's it's got that Oscar thing working against it.
Oh, see, that's exactly what I wrote about in my Dark Knight column. The thing is, had the Dark Knight taken all these things, all of a sudden people would be coming out of the woodwork going, really? It wasn't that good. I mean, it was good, but
people are already doing that. I mean, we hear people slamming Dark Knight already. MDS, but anyway,
you got the occasional loud jackass who's really fed up with everybody else talking about how great it is when they didn't dig it, and they just keep going on. It happens, but
I mean, hey, look, the movie made his money. It's a big deal. Got his awards, made his money. Daniel, what's his name? Danny Boyle sitting up there taking a shit on everybody who say they don't like the movie. So fuck it. Anyway, moving on to number 2.
Girl with the henna tattoo, making my balls so blue, taking us to number 2.
Okay, you really are starting to sound like those fucking poets now.
Dude, I did poetry, and I listened to so many fucking poems in the 90s in coffee shops. It's not even funny. So I know the rhythm of the streets.
Oh, yeah. No, I used to love those angry girls that got up doing slam poetry. It's like, looking at my ass, I'll knock you into the grass, try to touch it, and I'm going to bite you in real fast. All that kind of shit. Like, damn, bitch, what you angry about?
You remember when the few times that MTV tried to, they tried to expand from MTV Unplugged to like Def Poetry Jam?
Well, that was HBO. They did Def Poetry Jam.
Was it HBO?
It was because they did Def Comedy Jam, then they did Def Poetry Jam. I think they did like Def Ballet Jam. So I mean, they were expanding on all kind of shit. But yeah, I remember they did that. It lasted for a while. I mean, it ain't like, come on, Negroes don't want to hear that shit. They just want to hear comedy, what I mean? So they didn't last too long.
What's up with the angry menstruating girl? I don't get it.
Yeah.
Why is she speaking like William Shatner?
Yeah, bitch.
Taking her voice to the streets. I am the streets. I am the night. I am William Shatner.
I am Shatner, and I shat on you. Yeah, all that kind of bullshit. But damn, bitch, your pants are turning red while you were talking right now. Get your ass on our stage. Now we get into this. You're trying to talk about the number 2 movie.
Number 2. Now we're talking about fucking poetry, man. What the fuck?
Demonstrating poetry girls.
I love this job sometimes.
Number 2 is the Jonas Brothers, the 3D concert experience,
which you guys reviewed.
Yes, we did.
And there's what was the point to that? Was
it
anything you expected other than 3 gay guys in 3D?
Somebody asked that.
They're 2 dudes short of getting a makeover.
Tell you, exactly. I mean, it's 2 kids that look like Bill Murray and one that looks like a chick. So I mean, yeah, in 3D. No, I said 2 chicks. Two guys that look like Bill Murray and one guy that looks like a chick. So,
is it just me, or do they have the gayest logo known to man? That JB Crest thing that looks like
it's all on fire and shit when it comes
belongs.
Up,
It's God. It looks like it belongs on a rhinestone encrusted pink cell phone, which it probably is.
Yeah, it looks like some Siegfried and Roy shit going by.
I love how they've got it on the side of their net jet, like. Yeah, the Jonas Brothers have a jet.
Yeah, in 5 years, that jet's gonna be owned by somebody else, and that shit's gonna be spray painted off. So,
dude, it's gonna be owned by somebody else. They bought it from fucking Hanson.
we gotta get rid of this thing, man. We gotta move this shit. Okay, you guys take it. Good luck with it. Better luck than we had. No, the reason why we did a review for that, 100 comments in one day. Yeah, that's why we did a review of it. We do a review of anything we can. But kids, people want to hear, like you said, people want to hear us slam some shit, and we talk major shit about the Jonas Brothers. Even though I gave it a matinee, like a very reluctant low matinee, it's still.
You dug the music.
The music is the worst part of it. I don't know anything about the Jonas Brothers. Now Leon does. Don't ask me why, because he was schooling me on Jonas Brothers information. So I'm sitting up here like he knew their names. He said this song is good. Okay, it's okay, but the rest of it, not so. I was like, how the fuck you know all this? Are you going to jail anytime soon? What the fuck are you doing, man? But yeah, okay. First of all, the movie itself brought in.
They're the guys who sing Jai Ho, right?
You talking about from Slumdog?
Jai Ho.
Yeah, uncredited. and they did the choreography for it. They took they took the flips out the movie though. The movie brought in $12.7 million. A disappointment.
Yeah,
they thought that because the Miley Cyrus movie, the 3D movie, which I thought was really cool for kids. That brought in $31 million. I saw this and I'm just like, I don't get it, but I can see why people would go because they can't go see a Jonas Brothers concert because apparently these guys just got girls pissing in their pants when they're out there.
Keep in mind though, I mean, this is what happens when people they look at one aspect without looking at the context. Miley Cyrus made that 3D film off of a concert series that was completely sold out in every city. That scalpers were getting $1,500 a ticket for, that kids couldn't go to. It was a status symbol for elementary and middle school girls to be able to go to that concert. It was a big deal, and that film came out 6 months after that. Right on that crest. I guarantee you she's not making the same money her opening weekend when that shitty looking Miley Cyrus Hannah Montana film comes out.
Man, you know what? Who knows? Because first of all, that was my argument when the Miley Cyrus 3D concert movie came out. It's like some of these girls are just, they can't afford to go. They kind of crush because they can't see. And I was like, I can see going to the next best thing.
Yeah.
But Miley Cyrus has a TV show.
Yeah,
and the Jonas Brothers do not.
They're just radio guys. I mean, it's
and that's springboarding off of Miley Cyrus. Like they were in the concert.
Well, they toured with her.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. They made an appearance in her movie, so they're saying, hey, we're gonna make money off these little bastards too. And it didn't work out that way.
At least they had the number 2 movie, so at least they can go, hey, look, we're number 2 in America this week.
But you know something? That's the thing that's working against them because they expected this to open up in the $30 million range.
Yeah.
And they had other studios saying, Jonas Brothers, oh shit, no, we ain't going up against that. And
which is why this weekend sucked.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, when the movie finally came out and it was $12.7 million, they are actually getting criticized for that.
I'm getting worried. I'm terrified about what the number 1 film is.
What you think it is?
I don't know. What is
Madea.
it? Oh, is it? Oh, thank God.
No, it's not anything too bad. No, did you think it was Street Fighter?
I was like, oh fuck, shit, what's left? What the fuck's left?
Oh no, what the fuck, Street Fighter? Fuck that, hell no.
I'm well aware of that fact, but it hadn't come up yet, and it's like, oh fuck me, no.
I told Hyde that movie's going to open up 8 or 9. It'll open up 8. So Madea brought in $16.2 million. It's up to $64 million right now. $65 million actually. So it's I mean, Medea's holding strong. They didn't think it was going to like beat the Jonas Brothers, but it did. People love Madea. So speaking of Street Fighter, now like I said, I hated the movie. It brought in $4.7 million,
and I loved the movie. For all the same reasons you hated it.
Yeah.
It was a piece of shit.
No, it was horrible.
Wow, was it awful.
I'm not even like a big Street Fighter fan. I was when the games first came out. I was playing the arcade. I was into it, man. I haven't really played the games, even though I want to get the new one. That's why they brought it out. Because I remember everybody was jumping on Cyrus. I didn't even hear him say that when we were doing the review. I don't know what I was doing. I guess I was fucking with the computer or something. But he said, yeah, nobody cares about Street Fighter anymore. I was like, they brought out Street Fighter 4. How did I fucking miss that? Why didn't I just jump on him? Because like, they brought out Street Fighter 4. It looks badass. That's why they released this movie.
I let him just go with that because that was one of those moments where it's like, oh, somebody's going to make you eat that. And sure enough, all throughout the comments, it's like, fuck you, Cyrus.
Fuck you. There's so many people, fuck you.
Fuck you, fat boy. Fuck you.
Yeah, and I was just like, I don't know how I missed
a whole lot of fuck yous going on. It was a beautiful, beautiful thing.
Yeah, it was almost like the members ran a train on him. There was a lot of fucking of Cyrus going on there.
Oh, there's an image.
But Street Fighter 4, that's why they released the movie because they want to ride.
Well, no. They were both being released and they timed them together.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. They wanted to, and the game didn't want to ride up the success of the movie. The movie wanted to ride up the success of the game.
Well, it all depends.
I'm being serious. That the game is like.
Well, the game is supposedly good.
It's great.
Supposedly hard as shit. Apparently, there are combos that require superhuman a superhuman ability to press like 18 buttons at once.
Yeah,
with two hands, your dick and your balls juggling the joystick. It's apparently, and of course, there's some Asian kid that can do it all with one hand. But he can play two characters at once. But I hear everybody I've been talking to is like, "Oh, it's a great game," but goddamn, it's fucking hard.
No, I read. I was reading a magazine today at Borders, and they give you the combos in the back in this article. I'm looking at this like, fuck it.
You were reading Time magazine.
Yeah, again.
You're reading the New York Times.
It was like Obama's stimulus plan and the combos in Street Fighter 4.
which both are equally as complicated.
Yeah, so it's and I'm looking at these. I'm like, there's no fucking way. Maybe I'm just. It's been a long time. Just like, no way. I wouldn't even try to do this shit.
Yeah, we've come a long way from half circle forward, half circle back.
Yeah. Horancho!
Ho Hurricane! Tiger uppercut!
Keep shooting that fireball. The moment they showed. Some kid showed me that in the arcade,
Nougat.
Yeah, and there was another kid who was like beating everybody, and he saw that one kid showed me, and that motherfucker was pissed. Like, because it's that move that you do to shoot the fireball, and I was beating everybody doing that.
I know, because that was the thing is once somebody's figured it out, it's like, oh fuck, I've got my move. Once you figure out, just kind of defend and then kick your ass.
But the reason why I hate this movie, and like I said, what I was trying to say is like, I haven't played Street Fighter in years.
You only have one reason to hate this movie?
Well, I was saying that I gave this movie a big fuck you. And it's not because I feel that much love for the game, even though I think the new one's going to be great and I might get it. But it was so obvious that they did not give a shit about where that source material was coming from. And it was very transparent that it was a money move. I hate when movies... Look, all movies are out to make money, okay? I'm not criticizing it just to make some cash, but when something is just made because they got to rush that shit out to make a buck, I hate it. And that's what that was my biggest problem.
There's so much of that though, and it's one of those things that you have to judge it based upon your experience. And I actually had a lot of fun. I think it's a shitty movie, and nobody should ever watch it unless you really enjoy shitty movies. I put this up there with Torque.
Torque was hilarious.
I found this just as hilarious as Torque. There's no bike foo, but she does have scenes where she kind of learns to generate energy over her testicles. It's kind of like or her genitals. It's just like, oh, hey, look, awesome. Yeah, what are you going to do with that? Oh, maybe you might kill somebody with it later. Oh, look, the one time she uses it. Awesome.
Look, man. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad you had a good time because I was bored out my mind. And
you were checking your email the whole time. You were just sitting there like.
You know what I was checking? I was checking to see. It got to a point where I said, I got to see how fucking long this is. And I got on there and saw I was 30 minutes into it. And I was like, oh, man, I got a fucking hour to go. And I told Cyrus, I was like, man, I'm about to walk out. And the only thing that kept me walking out was I thought I won't say why, but I felt like I could not walk out. Right. If I could have, I would. And when I saw if I had walked out, I didn't miss anything. For me, I was like, man, it's a waste of my time. Even though I appreciate that's all I say. I appreciate what you did. So that was cool. And we got the review up.
My kung fu is strong.
And you know something?
The thing you guys don't understand is we weren't supposed to see this movie. They didn't show it to us.
Nah.
Well,
I didn't say anything.
Kung fu is strong.
I ain't saying shit, man. But we got the review up, and you know something? I'm glad we did because a lot of people listened to that review, and they were waiting.
Really glad people enjoyed it. And I hope any of you that went and saw it and enjoyed it like I did. I hope you had a good time with it. It's really a dumb fucking movie. Oh my god, is it bad? No. But I had fun with how bad it was. Chris Klein alone he was just Nash out. It's just so awful.
Yeah, see, for me, I was laughing at first, and then it was like, he's just a bad actor. And I'm not even saying anybody who's in this movie, I'm not going to criticize them for their acting. I'm going to pull a George Lucas and say they were just under a director who didn't give a fuck, and they were giving bad performances because they weren't directed strongly.
I don't know about that.
But it is bad.
I'm not just going to blame the direction. There's so much that clearly went wrong here from the get-go, which leads us to one of our next topics.
Oh, you know what? I do want to get into that. I just want to tell people before I forget, because we're going to talk about the script writer for this.
Yeah.
But a lot of people have been saying, man, the videos are how come there's not more videos? And I just want to address that with people real quick because
Corey's a lame ass.
Because I'm lazy. I'm just a bit drunk. Got my hand in my pants.
He's getting drunk. He's jerking off. He's screwing half the girls on the site.
Yeah. What am I supposed to do?
How is he supposed to find the time to draw your pretty pictures?
He's busy out there doing hedonism. No, look.
Doing hedonism.
Hedonism. No. Hey, look, there's a...
I'm going to get you a dictionary.
No, there is a festival called Hedonism.
There's also a series of clubs in Jamaica. Super clubs called Hedonism.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah, Hedonism and Hedonism too. I went to Jamaica once and stayed at a Super Clubs resort. It was fucking awesome, dude. There's nothing better than spending 7 days on the beach
at Club Hedonism
in Jamaica. No, I didn't do hedonism. Hedonism is too extreme for me. Hedonism is like spring break for adults. People running around topless, everybody screwing everybody else.
Why have I not been to this club?
We were, because you haven't talked to me about Jamaica, but I'm on the bus, and they have a bus that goes around to the various clubs and takes you all to the airport on airport days. And I end up, we get picked up first, and then we go over to Hedonism, I think 3. I think Hedonism 3 was right next to where I was. And they pick up those people, and everyone beforehand, it's all couples and people who are just there having a good time. And, you know, I was there on the bus with these 2 beautiful French Canadians that I'd been hanging out with all weekend who were just really cool. And then, you know, all of a sudden, the Hedonism 3 people get on, and they just get on like they've just come from Mardi Gras. They're like, woo, woo, and they've all got beers in their hand. And they'll point at a girl and go, show us your tits. And the girl will lift up her shirt, and everyone's like, woo, and starts drinking. It's like, wow, were these different resorts.
Oh, excuse me for a moment. Booking a ticket to Jamaica. I'm sorry.
Oh. I was like, "What do you do?" Yeah, no, dude, no. You would absolutely love Hedonism 3, man. You would clean up there. You'd catch at least 7 venereal diseases.
And I already have
a letter from someone at Super Clubs. And Mom, we listened to your review. We really like your shit, Mom. But what the fuck, Irie, man? I mean, come on,
Irie, man.
No, they teach you how to speak Jamaican while you're there. That's part of it.
Oh, who said I want to talk?
But I mean, the best thing is, you know, it's. You pay your fee, and then it's an open bar all weekend. So you sit around drinking on the beach, smoking Cuban cigars all week. Talking to beautiful half-naked French Canadians. How can you not like that?
Oh, my God. Money is no object here.
Well, it was. You know, swimming with the dolphins alone costs $400.
Shit, I'll do one of them dolphins if I'm come here.
Dolphins, the puppies of the sea.
Bring your little blowhole here.
Yeah, no, that was a pretty crazy trip, though. I love the hell out of it.
No, it sounds like, you and I got to talk. You know, I'm surprised you never told me this. Well, what I want to let people know is that they are cutting back on screenings here, and they are starting to even do that more. And I've heard from like 3 different sources, including some of the publicity people, that like the marketing companies, that economy's taking a toll on screenings now. So,
which is horseshit. No, that's the excuse that they can give. The truth is, they don't want to say that they've learned that in order to keep the press happy, they can screen the good movies and not screen the bad movies.
Well, that's the thing. They are skipping out on some good movies too, because there's certain movies that are good and they know just, all right, we don't need to screen it. It's either critic proof or we're not worrying about creating that much buzz about it. Now, one person was telling me that, this is happening, this is happening. I'm like, now that's bullshit. There's no way when you get a movie that is the magnitude of something like The Dark Knight or Watchmen that they're not going to have a screening. Okay, that's not going to change. I can understand it for some of these smaller movies, but nevertheless, they are cutting back on screenings. There's a trend that's going on.
Well, but it's also this time of year. This time of year has always been bad.
But then there's some other movies that they would have screened. One of the ones that threw everybody off was Duplicity with Clive Owen and what's her name? You know what I'm talking about, Pretty Woman.
Yeah, Julia Roberts.
Julia Roberts. And
most famous woman in the world. Yeah.
They said that no screening here. And so they're pulling back. I mean, it's like
we also have the problem that we are in Austin, and Austin is a big market, but Austin is also a big market that has several large internet sites and medium and small internet sites that all feed from here and go not only nationally but internationally.
Well, they're cutting back other places too. L.A. they're cutting back on. They're even cutting back some in I think I was told New York maybe. So overall, all around, something's going on. They're cutting back on screenings. Nevertheless, whatever it is, they're cutting back on screenings here. We got to go sometimes to see a movie at 12, 1 in the morning. Yep. And then if it's a Wednesday or Thursday night, you know something? You know what's going to go up? An audio. It's not going to be a video unless it's like that coming week, especially when there's other shit that has to be done. So People seem to respond well to the audios until we can put a video up. We're going to keep putting videos up.
Well,
but
yeah.
This is what we got to do.
Like, we're going to have a video of Watchmen this week.
That's you damn right. We'll have a video of Watchmen.
You guys get to see Watchmen tomorrow. I saw it last week
you
with
saw
the
it last
co-host.
week. Yeah, that's right. So, yeah, we'll all get together and do the review. That's what I'm saying. One thing's for sure. For some of the biggest movies, we will have screenings for them. Yeah, something like Street Fighter, I can see why they didn't want nobody to see that shit.
I think it's going to come back around. I think it's we've been seeing this for about 3-4 years. It's been talked about. People were attempting it. Lionsgate was one of the first companies to actually say, you know what, forget the critics. We're going to go it alone. That was followed up by some of the smaller companies. And now the bigger companies are going, wait, you mean we can not advertise our film at all and with the critics and just see what happens? But now they're finding, what they're going to find over the long run is that they end up losing money. That they could be making more money if they use the press as free advertising, positive or negative. That the only films that really are going to get killed by negative reviews are the ones that are already on the fence, which are the ones they're not showing us.
I would like to say that, but for like 20th Century Fox not wanting to show a lot of the movies, they're like the most profitable.
Fox is only not showing them here, and that's just because of Ain't It Cool News.
And, they stopped showing them. I think they stopped showing them, like I say, in some places in LA, too.
They're showing all the Fox movies screened down in San Antonio. They're
pulling back on that. They said like San Antonio is being brought out. I couldn't even get like Street Fighter. They said, you know what? I tried to get a tape for it, which is one of the reasons why you didn't see a video review.
Yeah.
I tried to get a tape for it. They said, you know what? We're only doing this for Dallas. I said, so now you're not even sending people tapes. They're like, we can only serve Dallas. We can't send you anything. I'm like, oh, holy shit.
Dallas is a very large market that only has local stuff. They don't have any national things that run out of Dallas.
And 20th Century Fox, for all those bad movies that we talk about and how you know what, if you want your movies to open better, make better movies, they make those movies very cheap, and they're like the most profitable studio out there.
They were for several years. Last year, they took a huge hit and didn't have a single film that broke $100 million. They're hurting real bad right now, and there's a good chance that Tom Rothman, who signed a 5-year contract, might have his contract bought out from him. There's been
now, have you know this for sure? Have you heard this?
No, this is rumblings through the grapevine that I know for sure that they didn't have a film that broke $100 million last year, and they had a lot of trouble. They lost a lot of money because you look at they're the biggest at not screening their movies. The biggest company that just says, you know what, fuck it, we're not going to screen them in Austin, and some we're not going to screen all together. And you look, Eddie Murphy makes some of the crappiest movies known to man. He makes really, really terrible comedies.
Was a 20th Century Fox movie.
It sure was, but most of his films make $100 million.
But you know something? Here's the other argument. This is what I hear. Even though none of these movies have broken $100 million, they're made so cheap that they make the money back. Like something like Friday the 13th.
But wasn't Fox?
No, wasn't Fox. No, I'm not saying it was a Fox movie. I'm just using this as an example.
Yeah.
The movie opened up strong and then dropped like 80%. But the movie was made for $19 million.
Yeah.
And it's already garnered like $60 million.
Yeah, they're already talking about making a sequel.
Yeah, and so it's like, hey, you know,
and as much as I loved that movie, I don't want to see a sequel. I was fine.
20th Century Fox movies, like as much as we hate like Meet the Spartans and all that kind of stuff.
Meet the Spartans and Disaster Movie were both made for no money, and Disaster Movie didn't make its money back. It might have made its money back, but it didn't make the money that Meet the Spartans.
I'm not so
made.
sure. See, I'm like,
it opened up to like the thing is Meet the Spartans was made for $10 million. It opened to $18.5 million.
And like throughout the weeks, it made some money.
Yeah, it made its money. But Disaster Movie opened at $6.5 million. But then again, there was that whole groundswell from Meet the Spartans, especially on the internet, against those guys in their movies. And they have people who actively campaign against them. I don't know any.
Regardless of who's making this money, I ain't getting shit from them. I'm just saying.
Fox isn't doing well right now.
All I know is if whoever's responsible for all this internet paranoia, I wish they get them the hell out of there. And my point is, people, I don't know what's going on. They're cutting back on screenings, regardless of what the reasons are. I just want to let you know that's why we're putting up audio reviews. And until that changes, that we have no choice. We might have to just change our strategy, and you might have to listen to audio, and then next week you'll see the following video. So we'll see what happens.
But speaking of Fox's latest big hit, the gargantuan
Chun-Li.
success that is Street Fighter, the legend of Chun-Li, which, there were a lot of questions about this in our own comment section. I got a lot of questions in email, private messages, comment board, even on my, in the comments on my Ain't It Cool news review. Lots of people keep asking me about, why aren't you talking about Justin Marks? Why aren't you talking about the guy that wrote Street Fighter? Now, the reason why people keep asking this is because Justin Marks is one of my cohorts at Ain't It Cool News, Moriarty. He referred to him as the hardest working geek writer in the industry. He keeps getting handed projects. And he's written scripts for the Green Arrow movie called Supermax.
Yeah.
He wrote the He-Man script that's floating around. And he wrote the Voltron movie. And also he's got one next year, this year, Hack Slash.
Yeah.
And people keep
20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Yeah, he's apparently attached to 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, and people are like, why aren't you talking about it, man? Why can't you show how bad this guy is? And the thing is I'm just going to put it out like this. Right now, Justin Marks is the Aaron Kruger of the industry. Now, does anybody know who Aaron Kruger is? Some of you might. He's a guy who was attached to everything for the longest time. He wrote the original Ring script. He adapted the Ring, and that's the best movie.
Oh, the Ring, yeah, okay.
But he also wrote The Ring 2 and Skeleton Key and a number of other just terrible fucking movies. He broke into the industry by writing Arlington Road. He wrote 3 spec scripts and sold them all in a weekend in Hollywood, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, this is the next big thing." And he exploded onto the scene and got attached to everything. And eventually his workload slowed down as his scripts never got used. And I think that's what's going to happen with Justin Mark. This is the first major Hollywood film we've seen out of this guy. And he adapted Street Fighter to the screen, and he sucked it up hard, making one of the most beautifully terrible films of the year. This one's probably going to go on my bottom 10 list as the number 10 slot for being a terrible film that I love, because there's nothing redeemable about this movie. The best part of this movie is when she actually looks like Chun-Li in that blue dress.
In a dance club.
And in the buns, and then does the lesbian dance scene. That was fucking hot. But aside from that one little glimmering moment, the rest of the movie sucked the hair off my nuts.
See, I was so bored even that. I was just like, okay, you know what? I would rather y'all start fighting instead of looking at each other, because I'm so
Kristen
bored with this shit
Kreuk
now.
Kreuk or whatever. I don't care how you pronounce the girl's name. She's fucking hot.
That's how boring this movie is to me. I got tired of looking at her.
See,
I think she's hot, but I'm just like, you know something? I'm angry because it's called Street Fighter. Y'all ain't doing shit.
She's not over the age of 40. That's why you got bored with her. I mean,
well, you know what? If she fought more because she was over the age of 40, I'd love her either way. I mean, the movie just bored the fuck out of me, man. I told you they had a featurette over at New York Comic Con. I'm sure some people
tell us about it.
Well, some people who were there, I'm sure you saw it. They do this big featurette talking, and they have Justin Marks on there. He's talking about how, hey, you got to change things to make it into a movie, but the essence of Street Fighter is there. And people looking at the clips, and they can tell that this is nothing like Street Fighter, the video game. And people are like, bullshit, this is going to be fucking lame. Well, fuck you. And so now that this guy has made this movie, you said this is the first thing that's been produced.
The first major studio film that he's had produced, yeah.
Another script that he does could be very good. Who knows? Yeah. This might be a little fluke right here. I don't know. He's got a lot of properties though, as you say, He-Man, Voltron, a lot of things people love, and I worry now that he's taking the same mentality that, hey, you know something? I don't want to do the hard shit that we see in these properties. I'm gonna take the easy way out and just write it as cheaply as I can, and then use the excuse, oh, we couldn't do that because that's unrealistic. We're gonna do this for the movie. It's like, fuck you, man. No, write the shit like we remember it.
You know what the thing is? He-Man and Voltron are two things I don't want to see brought to the screen. There's a guy at Latino Review, I don't know his name, but he's like the major guy campaigning for this He-Man movie. Every time he talks about the He-Man movie, oh my god, the He-Man script is the greatest thing ever. Oh my god, I love this script. Oh, and then he describes the script, and it's like, oh, fuck that movie. It's you don't understand. It's a gargantuan sci-fi fantasy extravaganza that's going to dwarf Lord of the Rings, and it's like, oh, you got to be fucking kidding me.
Yeah,
I remember watching He-Man as a kid. I remember I never had the He-Man toys, but I went over to my friend's house who did have the He-Man toys. And He-Man's kind of lame.
No, He-Man is very lame. But what they did was, see, now this is what I'm afraid of. Like what they made with Street Fighter. Now people say Street Fighter is just a bunch of fighting, so I agree. It's a challenge to make that into a movie. But you can follow a character around. They can do some cage wrestling, but you have to be true to the tone of whatever it is that you're doing, I believe. That's why I said with Street Fighter, they should have done an exaggerated world where all this crazy shit, people with stretching arms, people who could shoot electricity, all this should have been kind of...
You mean like the 1994 film?
Well, no, because that was just sloppy. I'm talking about making an actual... See, those two movies are cheap. I mean, don't make it if you don't have the budget for it, or if you can't keep... if you don't have a budget that can carry the tone, because both those movies were cheap. The best thing that people have mentioned that they've done is the animated film, and it is because the characters.
The Street Fighter 2, the animated film was all right. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, it's nothing great, but it's definitely Street Fighter in tone. Still kind of far fetched in story. I mean, they stretched that shit out. But I'm looking at something like He-Man. You're going to have to change some major things with He-Man. But what do we want to see? We want to see the world. We want to see things that are iconic of He-Man. We don't
really want to see that, though?
Well, I don't. I mean, if they're going to make a movie, at least attempt.
If they're going to make a movie. But the question is, just because it was a toy from our childhood doesn't mean it needs a movie. I mean, they fucking attached somebody to a Stretch Armstrong movie, for fuck's sake.
No, I see, that's what worries me about this. I say, hey, people are going to make them because they're either going to make money or not, just based on the name. And what am I going to say? I'm not going to stop it. But if I was in charge of shit and I thought that it could happen, I would say, let's not do anything until we feel really inspired. One, we have to have a good story. We have to shit this thing out. Two, let's not do it unless we can capture the major imagery and icons of these things. Things don't have to be changed because it's a movie. That's true. But unless that happens, I wouldn't like to greenlight it. So...
Yeah.
I mean, think about the old Masters of the Universe movie where people want to see things like Orko and they want to see Eternia. What they do, they took the cheap way out and said, we're going to go to New York and fuck Eternia because that's too expensive to do.
Yeah, and that movie's awful.
Oh, that movie's terrible. Horrible film.
But Frank Langella plays Skeletor.
Yeah, I know. The guy who played Nixon played fucking Skeletor.
Which is why he'll never get an Oscar, unfortunately. Every time they're like, oh, you were so good as Nixon. Oh, but you played Skeletor.
Yeah, no,
we're sorry.
Fucking Skeletor.
No Oscar for you. We're gonna give it to the guy that already got one because he's gonna make a speech about gays getting married. Thank you. and for those of you that don't understand, that's exactly why he got the fucking award. That is why they gave it to him. Everyone
to
voted.
Sean Penn.
It was a whole big thing. It was a big fuck you to Proposition 8. It was a big, we're going to make our point and give the award to the guy that played the gay activist, and he's going to make a speech that tells you small-minded people to go fuck yourself. Yay! And that's why he got the award.
Now, that's not proven. It's a good theory, though.
No, that's exactly why he got the fucking award.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it. I'm just saying,
But, I mean, he did an incredible job. I think he deserved up there, but I personally don't think he earned it this year. Although it is my favorite character that he's ever done.
Yeah, no,
next to Spicoli.
But of course, yeah, Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
He's like one of the iconic druggies of that era for characters. So that's why everybody always mentions Spicoli. Anytime you talk about Sean Penn, you are required to talk about Spicoli because that's how, man, that was my skull.
Yeah, no, he was a brilliant role. He should have got Academy Award for that.
Him and Eric Stoltz, man, they were fucking awesome in that movie.
What else did you? I'm sitting here thinking. You said you want to talk about Street Fighter. And
let me finish this up with the thing with Justin Marks. The one thing that he's done that I'm really curious to check out. I don't know if the script's floating around. I'm sure it probably is Supermax. And that's the one where that's an interesting concept.
Yeah.
Where it's the Green Arrow in prison.
And you know what? I'll say it again. Like I said it before. I don't think that movie will not get made.
Oh, it probably won't. Not especially with what's been going on lately. They've decided to take a very different tact with their movies. Warner Brothers learned a lot from The Dark Knight and said, "Whoa, if we make serious films made by serious directors, made for adults, everyone will come and see them."
Yeah.
Huh.
I hope they.
We don't have to put nipples on the Batsuit or sell toys. We could just make a good movie.
Now, if Watchmen does huge numbers, and it will, at least opening weekend. I don't know how it's going to follow through after that because it is rated R.
Did your mom ask about it?
Yeah, but she asked about it though.
$70 million.
Corey Mama Day,
Corey Mama Day.
She mentioned it. No, I'm just thinking that if the movie does well,
baby, how's that Medea movie?
Oh, you know what? She don't need to ask.
No, she didn't ask. And did it break $70 million? It did not.
Well, it's about to though. It's close.
No. I mean opening weekend.
Oh no.
But that's every time you mention your mom, that's how you knew Iron Man was going to be a hit.
Yeah. What's this Iron Man about ching ching.
You just broke 70 million. Congratulations.
My mom I heard about Madea.
She has psychic powers is what she has. She is the most powerful being in the universe.
Man, let me tell you something. Years ago, my mom was...
You're the son of the Oracle.
Yes. My mother put on a DVD. She's like, man, watch Madea. This is funny. And I was looking at this. I was like, Madea, what the fuck? Excuse me. What the fuck are you watching? And I was like, man, this is what is it, like Eddie Murphy? This is a black man in a fat suit in a very bad stage play. This is bullshit. I'm not. Get this out of here. This is gonna be nothing. Next thing I know, Madea is making #1 movies. I'm like,
and
holy
you
fuck.
Do not possess psychic powers.
Not like my mother. Apparently,
it skips a generation.
I didn't get those genes.
You're whatever bastard kids you have running around can predict the future.
However, my nephew
there's a 5-year-old out there going, oh, you know who the next president's going to be? It's going to be so and so. Oh wow, yeah, we believe you, Pat.
Yeah, no.
One day you'll be asking me for box office totals.
My nephew he can pick things up with his mind right now. But shit, what the fuck was I even talking about?
You were going to ask me the other thing.
Oh no, The Watchmen. If Watchmen is going to be like now it's a rated R superhero movie. Now imagine how things would be if that movie does well.
Well, and the thing is keep in mind the reason why it's being released this weekend. As several people have asked me, why isn't it being put out in the summer? This is the exact weekend 2 years ago that Zack Snyder opened his rated R sword and sandals movie 300 to a huge weekend.
Yeah, you don't want to release a comic book rated R movie in summer. I mean, because it's not really tried yet. So, I mean, at least not with superheroes and costumes like this.
But they've already proven that they can make a certain amount of money this weekend, and 300 did pretty well. So, this is the big proving ground for that.
Yeah. What were we leading into with that?
You were just asking me what was the other thing I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, well, what is that?
I watched a DVD this weekend.
Oh, Wonder Woman, that's right.
Wonder Woman, the whole world is waiting for you.
So, I ain't gonna even ask. You loved it?
No.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Really?
I thought it was all right.
No. Okay.
We're on the same page. I watched it and I saw exactly what you were talking about. You know what the problem with the movie is? It's 75 minutes.
So you think it's too long then?
No, I think it's too short. I think we get to the biggest problem with the film is you get to this point where you finally feel like they're getting into a movie. They've given the origin, we've gotten into the world, and we're starting to get plot. And then all of a sudden, Ares marches on Washington, D.C., and we've got the climax of the film.
Yeah.
That's like, really?
Now, you just saw the movie... and I'm not a big Wonder Woman fan.
Ago.
Yeah, tell people the plot. Oh, now, well, let me set up. The Wonder Woman is coming out on Tuesday, the DVD.
DVD comes out
What's it called? The Wonder Woman?
The animated movie.
That's it? Wonder Woman,
the animated movie.
Okay.
It is the origin story of Wonder Woman. It is done in its own kind of style, but it's essentially just like this whole series of animated PG-13 films that DC's been putting out lately. I've been showing pics of it. I love the animation, and I love the animation in this film. I love what they did with it, but the plot is this. It's based upon the original story of Wonder Woman, and it's been retweaked. But it's about a fighter pilot that gets shot down over Wonder Woman's island.
Yeah.
Theopolis or the
island of lesbians.
The Lesbos.
Lesbian island.
No, the island. I forget the name of the island. But where all these Amazons have been living for like 2,000 years. They pulled themselves away from society. They live on their own.
And they did not want to be bothered by men.
They didn't want to live in the world of men because men are violent, chaotic creatures.
Yeah.
And they want to have their nice, peaceful society. Off to the side, this fighter pilot lands there. They find out he's not a threat. They have to return him to to his own world. And Wonder Woman, Diana, really wants to do that. But her mother, the queen, forbids it. And so she disguises herself, pulls the whole Robin Hood thing, and earns the right through combat to take him to the real world. And then she takes him to the real world. At the same time, Ares, the god of war, who they've had imprisoned on their island for 2,000 years, escapes and wants to bring war to the world. And so she ends up having to stop him. And that's the basic premise of the film.
Yeah. Now, I do like the animation style. It's done. I don't know how much. Now, Bruce Timm is the producer. Bruce Timm, if you don't know, he's the guy that pretty much did the pioneer animation series, Batman the animated series. Yeah. And so it's done in that kind of style. And I like the animation in it. And look, I'm not the biggest Wonder Woman fan. I actually thought the movie was kind of stupid, but it was entertaining. Like I told you, it's it's a romantic comedy set in a comic book fantasy world.
Kind of, except that because it's about 15 to 20 minutes too short, we don't really get the true romantic comedy resolution that we should have.
Well, I see what Bruce Timm was talking about the movie, and he said, look, it's a DVD movie. And he said they actually had a longer script, but he said, this would not work in a theater. This would not this animated film. You know, it's like we don't need a theater length. It's a DVD. We want it to go fast. That's good because it is a DVD, but at the same time, I mean, look, Colonel Steve Trevor. He gets
Steve Trevor.
Yeah, this the pilot who lands on. He's in the middle of the war.
Who's played by Nathan Fillion. And he's the best part of the movie.
He's great.
He's fantastic.
The voices in this are great. Kerry Russell is Wonder Woman. Yeah. Alfred Molina is in the movie as Ares. Yeah, as the God of War. I mean, and so the voice work in this is good. I mean, and they have some really great bits of dialogue in there for a DVD animated movie.
Yeah, and then they've got some kind of stiff ones.
Oh no, they got some terrible. I think outside of. Especially when on the island and you don't have no comic relief, dialogue is horrible. I'm sorry, I think it's terrible, but it's a fun movie to watch. Once actually, the action scenes are pretty cool.
No, here's the other problem with the movie, because the first problem is length, and that's the chief problem. It's just underdeveloped. The other problem is they wanted to draw so much upon what Wonder Woman meant historically and what her initial conception was and what they wanted to do with Wonder Woman, that the movie comes across as a heavy-handed feminist film about 20 or 30 years too late. And you're kind of sitting there. I was actually watching it with a female friend of mine, and even she was kind of rolling her eyes going, come on, we got the right to vote 100 years ago. It's not that big a deal.
Well, I can see what they're saying. I kind of like that because they want to do let's admit it, even though it's PG-13, they want to make a strong hero for women. I mean, they had the message with a little heavy-handed.
No, making a strong hero is one thing. Making a strong hero that doesn't identify herself as a hero, identifies herself as a woman first, and sits around bitching about men most of the time, that's where you get kind of annoyed with Wonder Woman after a while. She's like, you men are all the same. Oh, yeah. You're this and you're that. And
well, it's a message like you just keep hearing. I mean, there was one scene in there where I thought it was kind of cool because I still see this women today. It's like, girl is out there still depending on a guy to do things for her, and she's using all her charm.
Oh, the desk ate my pencil.
Yeah.
Oh, can you move the desk for me?
And Wonder Woman's like, you got fucking hands. Lift up the table yourself.
Is something wrong with you? Are you ill?
Yeah,
that was a cool scene.
I love that scene.
But the thing that the problem is that they kept dragging that out, and they had to they felt they needed to hammer it home when they really didn't. When a few well-placed scenes like that, where you just see her baffled by the women of our world, would be fantastic. That would have been great.
No, I agree with you.
But they got way too heavy.
No, they had dialogue.
Steve Trevor was a little too much of a poon-chasing dick.
Well, that's why I said it's a romantic comedy. Yeah. I mean, it fit that, and that's why I liked it. I mean, it was like I said, it was okay. It went by fast. No. The problem is that it's so short that they just look over things. It's like they leave, they leave the island of hot lesbians, and then they're in the invisible jet. And they don't explain shit about them leaving on that invisible jet.
Where the hell is the invisible jet? Fuck it.
And Steve Trevor lands on the island. Now, I can see myself doing this, but for the average person, he's looking around, he's like, wait a minute, I'm on a fucking magical island, and there's just, how the hell did I get here? Wait, this is crazy. And he gets back to New York, and he's just like, forget that I was on that island. We got business to do. But he gets on that island, he's just like, I'm not asking questions because there's pussy all around.
Yeah, the scene where they're playing around and splashing in the water, taking baths. That was so a Corey Coleman moment. Forget the fact that there were commies trying to shoot me down and people were chasing me with spears. I see boobies.
Now, I related to that, but I think the average person is still going to be like, well, I was kind of puzzled. I was like, this guy's not overwhelmed by any of this supernatural, outlandish shit that he's meeting. And it really takes away from that character. But then again, like I said, it's a DVD movie, so I can let it go.
Yeah, no, I mean, and the thing is it's entertaining enough. And again, like the Batman Gotham Knights, the special features are really, really awesome and worthwhile.
Really?
There's 2 25-minute documentaries about Wonder Woman and her historical precedents. There's 2 Justice League episodes that feature Wonder Woman. And then there's a number of the other things. There's also a look at the next film, which no doubt they'll be sending me tons of artwork for.
What's the next film?
Green Lantern.
Green Lantern? Oh, of course. That would be pretty cool, man. Let me tell you something. I don't want to turn this into a League of Extremely Ordinary Gentlemen thing, but I've been looking at Green Lantern a little bit, and people, I'm gonna nerd out for just a minute, because I'm gonna tell you why Green Lantern's
nerd
cool
out. Wonder nerd powers activate. Form of a complete knob.
So I don't look. I'm it's no lie. I try to act like I don't read comics, but I read more comics than people give me. Than I give credit for. I let people know, and so I've been kind of reading.
You trying to play it cool.
I know I try to play it cool, but I'm sitting up there reading comics like everybody else. Yeah,
you have fucking Snoopy lying around.
Yeah, of course, man. I just know how to hide that shit. I get busted every now and then. But I'm looking at Green Lantern, man. I didn't know this about Green Lantern. They got some shit going on with people. I don't know. For those of you who don't know anything about comic books, you're probably kind of like me with Green Lantern because I don't read that shit at all. I don't know that much about Green Lantern.
Are you reading White Green Lantern or Black Green Lantern?
Well, I don't know what I'm not really reading. I'm just looking up. I'm thumbing through books and looking them up on the internet. There's this shit going on. They got, people, Green Lantern is this guy wears a green suit, has a ring, and the ring it can do all kind of things because of Green Lantern's willpower. Now, I'm looking up this shit where they got like the Green Lantern team, which is a whole army of Green Lanterns.
Corps.
Yes, and then they got the yellow Green Lanterns, which intimidate people. Like the Green Lanterns use willpower and hope. The yellow Green Lanterns, they use fear with their rings to intimidate people. And then you got the red Green Lanterns who are just pissed. They are fucking angry, and that's how they get by.
They're the red Green Lanterns?
Yes. Angry ass.
Could they be the Red Lanterns?
The red. Oh, I'm sorry, the Red Lantern. I'm thinking of
the Red Green Lanterns.
They're the Christmas elves. Green Lanterns. No, yellow and blue make green. No, they got so they got the Red Lanterns out there, and they're like these. And they had one character. I don't even know where it came from. I saw this one issue where they had a cat just out of nowhere. They put a suit on a cat, and the cat. This guy came up. One of the Yellow Lanterns came up and said, "Oh, that's a cute cat." And that cat, which looks like a house cat, bit that fucking guy's head off because he was that pissed. And I was like, wow, they're getting crazy with these Lantern books. And here's the funny thing about it. The cat, even though it was like a house cat, when the cat went up, the cat had abs. Like he'd been working out. I was like, comic book people can't help draw. They draw abs on every fucking thing.
Did Cyrus write that book? Is that the... It's the Lolcat Lantern. Can I has lantern? Can I has ring now? I can has ring now.
Yeah, that cat was doing crunches, but yeah. Oh, so what would you give the Wonder Woman movie if you gave it a?
It's a rental.
That's what I would say too.
It is what it is. I'm glad they didn't put it in theaters. If it were in theaters, it needed to be 15, 20 minutes longer and needed more character stuff.
Well, it's not the quality to even be blown up big screen like that.
Yeah, but still, I mean, I even on DVD, I expect a certain level of quality from my films.
So even though, that tells something about the movie because it is on DVD. So what do you say? Do you go buy it or do you just rent it?
Well, right now there's not. Nobody wants to put 2D animation on the big screen. I mean, everybody's frightened of that because who wants to see that? Everyone
they're doing that. I mean, Frog Princess and from Disney, and they're thinking about doing some other projects. And Brad Bird really wants to do more 2D stuff, even though he's doing a live action movie now. So, But no, that movie is limited. I mean, it's good animation, but not cinema quality animation, and they know that.
But it's worth checking out.
No,
it's
definitely worth a rental. That's what I would say. I would rent it.
But I wouldn't say rush out and buy it. I'd say rent it first. If you like it, then buy it.
I agree with you 100%.
Absolutely.
To say in the words of Jamie, 100%.
100%.
So that was a good topic, man, and that really caught me off guard. That was
they don't ever have good topics.
You do. I'm just complimenting you. I do that. Give credit where credit is due, man. Come on. Don't get all Red Lantern on me right now.
I'm the Low Lantern
with abs. So let's see what we got here, man. You want to do some email?
I guess it's email time.
All right, let's go ahead and get into some email here.
It's time for email.
We're getting close. We're getting close to the end.
We're getting close by the hair of our wee little nuts.
No chinny chin chin.
No chinny chin chin.
Nut hair.
Nutty nut nuts.
Nut hair McGee.
Our volleyball balls.
Okay. This is from Marsac. Let's see. I haven't read anything from this guy in a while.
Is it Alex Hacker?
No. I wonder where Hacker went. The Hacker. Let's see. No, this comes from Sky Captain Joe.
Sky Captain Joe.
What are your thoughts on all these sequels to Jim Carrey movies that don't star him? We've got classics like Son of the Mask, Evan Almighty, Dumb and Dumberer, and Ace Ventura Jr. Can we expect Liar Liar, Pants on Fire, and The Cable Gal? God, hey, nice puns there. Apparently they all suck. So that's
apparently no. Being the guy that has seen them, They all suck.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen all of them. I didn't have the good fortune of seeing Dumb and Dumberer or whatever. But I heard that was god awful.
Oh fuck me, that
notoriously
was
bad.
Oh holy fuck, that was an awful fucking movie.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh Jesus Christ! Thanks for bringing that back. I mean, what can you say? I mean, they suck.
Yeah, no,
they're not good. What do I think? I think they're exactly what we were talking about earlier. It's just capitalizing upon a name and hoping that people pay to come and see it, and it's just awful.
Well, keep in mind too that a lot of these movies are vehicles for Jim Carrey.
Yeah,
and when you take Jim Carrey out of a movie that was meant for Jim Carrey, what the fuck you gonna get? You know?
Yeah,
it's like fucking taking the sugar out the Kool-Aid. So let's see what we got here. We have a question from Sean W. He says,
Sean W.
Even though this is for I'm a goat and I eat my own milk, I'm going to do it here on a cow. Let me see here. Now.
What was it for? Let's do this?
Yeah.
Then there's going to be a Dark Knight question, I can tell.
The AKA of that show is I am a goat and I eat my own milk. Let's see. What the fuck is the question?
I don't know. This is why you should vet your questions before I come over.
Commenting
you should find good questions rather than just taking the last thing sent to you.
I don't see a fucking question mark. I'm sorry, man. I don't.
That's okay.
Crazy. No,
I'm fine.
I'm apologizing to this guy. I don't give a fuck about you.
We should just vet our questions beforehand.
All right. I'll go for John, aka Mr. Burn Notice.
All right, Mr. Burn Notice. Make it good.
If you could have any two actors or actresses, don't forget the ladies, do a buddy cop movie, either a comedy or drama, who would they be? I don't know. You got any in mind?
Buddy cop comedy? Do they even make those anymore?
They do occasionally.
Oh God, I have to. This is why we should fit our questions.
Hey, man, it's a good question. I mean, you never know.
The buddy cop comedy. You know who I want to see do a buddy cop comedy? I want to see Seth Rogen and why can't I think of his name? Bill Hader.
Bill Hader.
I want to see a Bill Hader, Seth Rogen buddy cop.
Bill Hader. I know that name. Bill
Hader. He's in everything. The next thing he's in is at Adventureland.
Oh yeah, that guy is funny. You know what? That would be a good spinoff. Because they were the cops. And that would be a great spinoff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's why I want to see them in a buddy cop comedy. I want to see those, not necessarily those cops in particular, but I would like to see them play cops together.
I would love to see a spinoff with those two cops because they just don't give a fuck. I love that scene in Superbad where they go to the party, open the door, and the teenager opens the door, and Bill Hader's like, "Oh no, it's the cops! Yeah. Get the fuck out of here!" But okay, we have a question here.
Both of those guys are particularly funny. They're both also solid actors. I'd like to see them do something fun. But you know what? The buddy cop comedy is over. Its day has come and gone, and its day was 1988. So
we say that, but you never know. It might be.
It'll come back eventually, but really, they just did kind of the buddy cop comedy with weed, and that was Pineapple Express, and that was cool.
Let's see here. Okay, this is from Tyler J. What villain, movie or comic book, do you think could have a good movie or even movie series based off of them? I like that question because we have all these superheroes that get their movies. I would like to see a super villain get their own movie. And have we had that? I know we had a Catwoman movie which failed miserably, and Catwoman's not really.
But they didn't do her as a villain.
Yeah, exactly. And Catwoman technically is an anti-hero villain type person. You know, she doesn't really kill people. She's just she steals. She's a burglar. But can you think of anything where you would like to see sort of an anti-hero villain type person get their own movie?
It can't be. It can't really be done as a true comic book movie. It has to be done as a very adult, rated R film. You'd have to make a film in which it was villains against villains. I mean, it couldn't be a truly villainous plot. It would have to be something along the lines of The Professional or one of those types of films in which you have a character who's a very bad guy, but who has some kind of moral compass so that we can somewhat identify with him. Mr. Brooks is a great example, where you have a villain who they give him certain human characteristics that make him likable to a certain extent, even though what he does is horrible.
Yeah. So what's the villain that you would like to see?
I can't think of anybody right offhand. I know who everybody's gonna want to instantly jump and say. They're all gonna say, "I want a Deadpool movie."
Yeah.
And it's like Deadpool's kind of played out. He's too.
I kind of like what they did with the Hulk, where the Hulk was seen just as this terrible force, which can be dangerous. He's not really a hero,
which he was back in the day. That was kind of cool.
It started out kind of as a Jekyll and Hyde. He was a monster.
The problem is that it is Jekyll and Hyde. I mean, that's what it was from the beginning. I mean, but that's but we do have a hero in that movie, and the movie's about the hero, not the monster. I can't think of a really great villain that I truly, truly want to see an entire movie about.
I think now. I know you hate for me to say Batman, but I'm curious.
No, I don't hate for you to say Batman.
Well, I'm curious to see now that the Joker is such a popular character. I wonder if people love to see a movie that is based on the Joker.
They think they would, but the problem is that what works about the Joker is he's a force of chaos. He's just pure nihilism, and you can't follow a character like that.
I would love to see a movie though where they try to figure him out, and you get an origin story, but you're not sure by the end of the movie if that was true or not, or if he was telling the truth. You try to give him some sympathy, but at the end of the movie, it could be he's lying. So I don't know. I mean.
Now, what might be interesting is to see a great story about normal people against famous villains. I'm not certain that this can definitely work, but seeing something like something of a horror movie type thing in which you have people dealing with this thing that is this villain that we're all familiar with, but looking at it through the eyes of heroes.
It's a good idea. Can you think of any though?
It's really.
Like maybe Dr. Doom from the Fantastic Four, how he became an oppressive person. I love
Dr. Doom. Dr. Doom is a great comic book character. He's not a great movie character. Okay. What he does just doesn't work on the screen very well. This is why it's such a hard question. Villains are usually, especially in comic books, are very one-dimensional. The ones that are actually three-dimensional characters are so because they're fucked up, and they're so fucked up that we as audiences could never really want to follow a story just about them for 2 hours.
Well, unless we make it something that they were sympathetic in the beginning, and what made them a villain? Like, what hardships did they have that we finally understand? Like, well, shit, if that happened to me too, I'd be crazy.
Well, I mean, and that's where you get something great that's kind of has fun with a genre, like Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog, where that's what that's all about. That's all about a villain truly becoming a supervillain.
Yeah,
a guy who wants to be bad but doesn't really understand what bad is until he reaches the end of the film.
Okay, I'm not going to rush you real quick, but we're almost at the end here. I don't want to have to go and re-record.
Well, who do you think? Who would you like to see?
Like I said, Joker. I would like to see a movie where the Joker gives a story and we don't know if it's true or not. And at the end of the movie, you feel sorry for him, but then you're like, oh, this fucker just told a lie. But here's a question real quick from Butcher. You can answer this real quick because we're about to get out of here.
Okay.
What are some movies or TV shows that you like that ended on a cliffhanger that were never resolved and pissed you off? And I've seen movies these days. Now, I never liked the movies, but I've seen movies where they thought they were going to have another movie, but they weren't good. So are there any good movies that ended and they didn't? Like Aragon ended that way. What was another one? The Golden Compass.
Aragon wasn't any good.
Yeah, no, it wasn't good. That's what I'm saying. But they're planning on having a sequel. The same thing for the Golden Compass.
Yeah, but those are based on books to where they actually were supposed to come out. The biggest thing that I can think, the biggest cliffhanger that I wish they'd, to a certain extent filled out was